Teachable Moments with April podcast is back, and I am your host, April. And I would like to invite you to join me July 17th, 2023, Monday, starting at 4 p.m., for a new series entitled Gems of Wisdom from Black Leaders of New Thought by Unity Ministry Publications. I hope to see you there. Life. Diabetes. There's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with carbs steady. Glucerna. Bring on the day. This is Teachable Moments with April podcast. I am your host, April. If you're a returning listener, I appreciate you and welcome back. If you're a new listener, welcome and thank you. To everyone listening, remember, teachable moments are all around us. Enjoy. This episode's content is from Gems of Wisdom from Black Leaders of New Thought by Unity Ministries. Black leaders have been integral to the growth and development of the New Thought spiritual movement. Although the early organizations, Unity and Religious Science, were founded by white leaders, newer incarnations are largely the work of African American ministers. Now, New Thought is based on ancient spiritual teachings that emphasize the divine with each person and the creative power of thought. Each minister or teacher tends to have a signature saying and a particular gem of wisdom for which they are remembered. Some of the gems of wisdom are historical and others are from today's thinkers and teachers. Many have overcome prejudice and setbacks to carry on their spiritual work. All have inspired the practical use of spiritual principles to bring about healings, financial restoration, deeper love, and better living for so many. Your friends in Unity. The first devotional we're going to look at is entitled, They Blessed Me by Reverend Sheila R. McKeithen, J.D. God is Absolute Good by Reverend Mary Thumpkin. In 1982, the voice on the other end of the phone declared, "You're going to be a great New Thought teacher." New Thought? What is it? The man who had called was Les Brown, a radio personality in Miami, Florida, who, through his radio program, reminded me daily how much I disliked my job. So, I resigned. "You've got something special," was his mantra. After I had attended one of his public meetings and read two books he recommended, You by Francis Wilshire and Key to Yourself by Venice Bloodworth, Les telephoned to ask my reflections on the books. My response prompted him to prophesy about my future in New Thought. He then invited me to church at the Universal Truth Center for Better Living, UTC, in Miami. My life would change forever. I accepted the invitation to attend UTC's worship service where a woman, Reverend Mary Thumpkin, preached from the first chapter of Genesis. I had never heard the creation story taught as symbolism. She was both powerful and very convincing. She taught me that the Bible was my story and God's nature is absolute good. She said that because I am a part of God's creation, my nature is also absolute good. I wanted to believe her because I was tired of being unhappy. She taught me that I could give up the concept of a mean and vicious God and envision a God of compassion, whose nature is absolute good. I believed her and chose to accept the goodness of God and the good within myself. UTC is affiliated with the Universal Foundation for Better Living, Inc., UFBL, founded by Reverend Johnny Coleman of Chicago, who visited UTC in Miami at least once a year. Her testimony was that she was healed in the early 1950s of an unnamed but incurable condition. She stood tall and was very elegant. She spoke with conviction and said, God can heal anything, anytime, and anywhere. She went on to boast that God is the source of my supply. Again and again she proclaimed the healer is inside of you. You and the healer are one. Oneness means sameness. You are just like the healer. What is true of the healer is true of you. This information was foreign to me even though I had attended church from a young age. I decided to embrace the teaching and try it on as I would a dress. Dr. Coleman chose Reverend Alberta Ware of Chicago to teach all of the classes in the Master's Certificate program at UTC. I enrolled and began my spiritual studies with Lessons in Truth by Dr. H. Emily Caddy. After years of study, I was accepted into the teacher training program at the Johnny Coleman Institute in Chicago. Reverend Ware taught me that study was not enough. I also had to serve as a way of releasing back into the universe what was being given to me. I was blessed by many other teachers. Now, Reverend Helen W. Carey, who was Johnny Coleman's assistant minister and director of the Johnny Coleman Institute in Chicago, taught me the importance of standing on spiritual principle at all costs. In her classroom, jolts of electricity passed through my body as she taught spiritual principles I could apply to daily life. The old me was dying, and the new me was emerging. Now, Reverend Tate demonstrated through his teaching style that one could be happy and joyful about one's spirituality. Reverend Mary L. Portier taught me that establishing a prayer life was most important. And Reverend Ramsbaugh taught me that honesty is a most, because every lie will be uncovered. Carolyn Schreiber told me to simply let God have a ball, expressing as my life. And Barbara McDaniel taught me that I could be a minister because I had no intention of becoming one. Oh my God. Reverend Joseph Hill taught me that God's prosperity is not just a theory, but manifests in one's life and affairs. And Reverend Harold said, let God write through you. For every teacher who has poured into me the spiritual truth that makes me free, I am so grateful. You were just listening to Teachable Moments with April Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I invite you to connect with us on our social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest. I also encourage you to become a paid subscriber in order to gain access to subscriber-only exclusive episodes and content. As always, be well and stay blessed. Until next time.